Samadpagi, Keto here.
And Mio here to tell you that today we have racism,
Sabotage.
predator allegations,
And what is a hedgehog anyway?
That's right, we're diving into the controversies regarding Sonic the Hedgehog's live-action movies. And not just the complete disaster known as Ugly Sonic that nearly killed the franchise then and there.
No. Some of these stories are new, some old, but all of the controversies in today's videos are truly strange. And stupid.
But before we begin, what or who is Sonic the Hedgehog anyway?
Sonic the Hedgehog is a blue, fast hedgehog that originates from a Japanese video game series, and it is incredibly popular, especially in the Western world.
Sonic has been the star of many a TV series and a comic book, but now, as of 2020, despite a few bumps in the road, he has had a very successful live-action movie series.
But despite its extreme success, some still view the series with a very hairy eyeball.
Maybe because Shadow is a creeper?
Oh, could it be? Well, according to YouTuber Grace Randolph, also known by her channel's name, Beyond the Trailer, the answer might just be yes.
The Randolph in question makes videos about Hollywood and movie news, box office performances, and movie reviews. We don't regularly watch her channel. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, we've never seen a single pixel of a video of her channel, but from all reports, her box office breakdowns are doing pretty well, and she has a pretty good like ratio on her videos, so she must be doing something right, despite her streams looking quite odd.
What is that? What is that? Wait!
It was during one of her mini movie reviews that she covered Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and in said review, she dropped the hot take that Shadow and Maria shouldn't have been hanging out without adult supervision to make sure nothing weird happens.
Also, let's talk about Shadow and Maria. I'm having a little bit of a Super Mario Brothers moment here. Now, I have learned from the Super Mario experience, this is just my take on it, but I don't really know if Shadow and Maria should have been hanging out together so much.
To our non-Sonic watchers, we'll briefly explain.
In the movie, the mysterious hedgehog-like creature, Shadow, crash lands on Earth and is studied by scientists, including one jailed Robotnik.
All the scientists are a bit skittish around Shadow, so he broods for most of the time, until he meets Maria, Gerald's granddaughter.
The two hit it off, and Shadow starts to come out of his shell as they watch movies together and have many adventures around the lab, all very wholesome sibling friendship relationship stuff. But no!
I was, because Shadow, very much was adult coded.
According to Grace! I just had to repeat myself. I felt so irate. According to Grace, Shadow is adult-coded, and since he's hanging out with a child, she implies that he's giving off predator energy.
Needless to say, she got raked over the coals for this one, because her take was not only wrong, but also kind of stupid.
I don't know from what vapors Grace pulled the idea of a romantic relationship between the two, but as many people have pointed out, Shadow is also referred to as a kid himself multiple times in the movie.
I guess she was thrown off by Keanu Reeves' manly voice, but then again, Sonic and Knuckles also voiced by grown men, so either way, I don't think he'd be a predator, but I don't know.
She also claimed that it would be more appropriate if the pair, Shadow and Maria being the pair, hung out in public areas with everyone else.
And that she was helping Shadow and making him have a better life. But they didn't need to, I don't know. I'd be like, I think you guys could have magical times together with adult supervision. It was nice that she would help Shadow and they bonded, but they didn't need to watch movies together, cozying up in her room. Why not in the commissary with everybody else?
Completely forgetting the fact that Shadow specifically points out that everyone is afraid of him and Maria is the only person to show him kindness, thus their exclusive relationship.
The way the scientists look at me, I can tell they're afraid.
The last and weirdest thing that we feel needs to be mentioned is that she complained that the movie shows too much of the eternal struggle Shadow has with his emotional pain. I have no words.
Sure, there are movies that are specifically made to be depressing, and I don't like those, but, if you watch the movie, this movie isn't that.
This is not the first of her videos to have earned some ire from her audience, including a rather poor assessment of the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Now, we can't hold it against her that she doesn't like the movie. We don't either. But we would never be so far off the mark as to think the movie would make no money, and her analysis of the movie missed a whole lot of legitimate points, and ended up just being rather poorly constructed.
Nothing against Grace Randolph, but maybe she shouldn't review video game movies anymore. Or just maybe start paying attention or something.
It's just, as someone who doesn't play the games and hasn't watched any Sonic animation, I just, I was like, I think this, I have a little bit of an issue with it.
The next situation we're talking about involves someone else who perhaps wasn't paying attention while watching Sonic the Hedgehog 3. We come now to the infamous review by the YouTuber Matt Walsh.
If you do not know who Matt Walsh is, he's a political commentator in the same vein as Ben Shapiro, and they actually work together in a joint venture, The Daily Wire. To anyone who wants to get upset and start some kind of political debate in the comments, please shut up and go away. That is in no way the point of this video.
Once in a blue moon, he creates a movie or TV show review to spice things up, and these for the most part aren't done in too serious of a fashion, and he and his other Daily Wire co-hosts sometimes do a back and forth, all in the name of fun.
This time though, when he reviewed Sonic the Hedgehog 3, his approach was met with some major backlash. You see, Mr. Walsh was not a fan of the movie at all, and had a multitude of complaints about the film, and proceeded to rip it up and down, left and right, straight and gay, and proceeded to rabbit trail off into some issues about Hollywood in general.
Now, in theory this is all well and good. People are free to not like Sonic 1, 2, or 3, as they are not perfect movies, not like my beloved.
The problem is, Matt Walsh seems to have inhaled some of the same mythic vapors Grace was puffing, because the majority of his points are completely made up. How do we know he made them up? Because multiple times in his review, he mentions he wasn't paying attention to the movie.
I wasn't tracking it that closely, to be honest. I was mostly fighting to stay awake.
So why does he feel the need to share his opinion?
I mean, don't get me wrong, he can do whatever he wants, but it seems weird to make a video about it.
He made some fairly general observations about the film and things he didn't like, without providing too many examples. One of his specific complaints was, well, actually, it's kind of hard to say.
Kind of movie where those same characters before the dance routine actually look directly into the camera and explain that they're being played by the same actor.
It seems he didn't enjoy the overall goofiness of the film. The Jim Carrey dance sequence and the fourth wall break joke and all that was just too much for him. He didn't like how the movie's tone shifted in regards to Gerald's plan of the suicide lasering the world and then, all the other goofy stuff.
I mean, that's your opinion, man. Never really mentions the themes or narratives in the movies about Sonic or Shadow's character development or Eggman's, probably because he was fighting to stay awake. He also says that Keanu Reeves' voice acting for Shadow was bad, and I personally just disagree. But to each their own.
I will agree with him a little bit on the last part of the video. Movie fan bases are soaked in toxic positivity and are cringe, and a lot of movies are made way too corporately. And some movies are just plain dumb, and fans will rapidly defend them. But in this case, it ends up that Matt Walsh just made a pretty bad boomer take, all because he didn't pay attention enough or care enough.
We won't go into much more detail because people have already made way too many videos on him, giving his review probably too much attention. I guess he just didn't expect people to take his review quite so seriously, hence why it's not very good at all.
So you may be thinking,
so a couple people had some bad takes, so what?
Well, Matt and Grace had some silly, goofy, goober opinions. They ain't got nothing on DC fans.
Oh, you didn't know that Sonic the Hedgehog is racist and homophobic?
Well, in February 2020, before the first Sonic movie had even released, that's exactly what the Twitter world found out one day when everyone woke up to see a bunch of tweets from people who claimed to have seen Sonic the Hedgehog and been disgusted by the rampant and vulgar language and mean slurs.
Slurs that cause even the toughest of gay men to break down in tears. Why, after the final action sequence, Sonic said a one-liner so horrendously racist that the entire theater reeked of bleach.
I got a nose for white supremacy and he smells like bleach.
But the greatest twist of all was that the movie hadn't even been released yet.
Meaning those tweets were lying. But who would do such a bizarre and confusing thing?
Desperate people.
You see, a movie was released in February 2020 titled Birds of Prey. Or rather, I should say Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. Or rather, I should say The Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. But for brevity's sake, Birds of Prey.
The movie follows Harley Quinn on a grandiose adventure, along with some other superheroines and female vigilantes. Based on the trailer, didn't look like a whole lot was going on.
Now, we did not see this movie, and neither did many other people, but it didn't seem like it was going to be very good, and the time Sonic was about to come out, it was tanking at the box office. But some vocal minorities had a lot riding on the success of this movie.
The Snyderverse or DCEU fans, because they really wanted their franchise to succeed, and certain feminists who really wanted a female-led action superhero movie to blow up the box office. Again.
I want more.
And Sonic's movie would be coming out soon, in just 1 week. If Sonic did well, he would take all the money that, of course, would have naturally gone to Birds of Prey otherwise. So, in a deranged fit of desperation that, to this day, I still have difficulty believing, certain individuals took to Twitter and started trying to sabotage the Sonic movie, with lying tweets saying the movie had racist content and homophobic slurs.
I went to see hashtag Sonic movie, and I'm not sure which is faster, Sonic or the audience leaving. From his abysmal design to jokes that didn't land, I asked for a refund and went to see hashtag Birds of Prey instead, which had a room filled with laughter and joy.
I was a victim of a horrible hate crime while in the theater watching hashtag Sonic movie, where these white men called me a bundle of sticks and spit upon me. Going to see Birds of Prey made me feel safe to go to the movies again.
Oh my gosh, since my kids walked out mid-screening of the hashtag Sonic movie without me, because I'm an irresponsible parent, I went to go look for them and found them in the hashtag Birds of Prey screening instead. And isn't that movie rated R?
Do you think it's okay to create a product that will incite violence and cater to a young audience? It's irresponsible at Sonic Movie. Unacceptable!
I took my husband and 2 sons to go and see hashtag Sonic movie. It was appalled to hear homophobic slurs used throughout the movie. Luckily, hashtag Birds of Prey was showing in the next room, and my family had a much better experience.
Some later tweets continued to get more and more ridiculous to the point where they were obviously trolling or something. Probably because they wanted to troll the trolls and make a joke.
Regardless, the fact that we can't identify who started this whole debacle and no one's come forward yet seemed to indicate that there was some genuinely real and very sad tweets trying to take down what they assume would be the Birds of Prey's biggest competition. And in the end, the film still lost money.
One last strange internet controversy we're going to cover about Sonic the Hedgehog movies is the fact that it was snubbed at the Oscars.
You see, it was not nominated for Best Picture. Anyway, people were upset that Emilia Perez was there and Sonic 3 was not, but eventually everyone got over it. And that covers most of the controversies the Sonic the Hedgehog movies have been in.
Most of these are very silly, so no reason to take them too seriously. But the DC fans, whew, that was weird.
If you know of any other controversies, let us know in the comments down below and maybe we'll cover it in a future video.
We have some other cool videos planned, including that Transformers video, which you guys have been waiting on for a while, I assume. But we will be getting to it. We have a set release date.
Assuming, of course, nobody gets sick and no tragedy happens, we'll be releasing it on April 11th or April 12th.
So look forward to that and subscribe to be notified.
And thank you for your patience. Assuming, of course, you've been patient.
But yes, that's all we've got for today. Sonic 3, I would say pretty solid movie, very fun. Go watch it if you're find it interesting at all. And we've got to get back to work.
But until we see you in the next video, check out this one over here.
Or this one over here.
And until we see you there, he's Mia.
And he's Keto.
We hope that you have a blessed day.
Bye!
Benjamin says, what about Lilo and Stitch? Thank you very much. I don't know. He's not like an adult guy. I don't think. He doesn't come across that way. You know, he comes across more like a pet who can talk.
How dare you!